time for another Nanoview. Cthulhu is one of those films I bought as a possible review movie. I was sure it would be hilariously terrible. And while it's not very good, it hardly counts as utterly terrible. Basically, it's an adaptation of The Shadow over Innsmouth that's been turned into a tale of homophobia in a small town. You can see why I thought this would be terrible, can't you? Lovecraft rarely works on screen, and adding a heartfelt tale of homophobia? I was expecting Dreams in Ben and Arthur's house. But it's not. It's far from brilliant, but it's not awful either. It's very low budget, but manages to come up with some really striking imagery. It's atmospheric, and like Lovecraft, it doesn't like to explain shit. It's the near future, and the world is unraveling into madness with escalating violence and Eskimo terrorists. The lead, Russ, is called home to Innsmouth in Oregon to deal with his dead mother's estate. He's famous in the homophobic little town for being openly gay, and his dad's the head of the local cult, the Esoteric Order of Dagon. He reconnects with his boyfriend from his teenage years, a closeted divorced father, notices the weird little town has got weirder, and begins investigating. An investigation that leads to nightmares, many fish people, and his role in the end of the world. It's not the most accurate adaptation of Lovecraft, but it does seem to get him in a way that most films don't. This really captures the sense of dreamlike paranoia in an insular society, and the use of homophobia worked really well with that. Plus, it meant they didn't need to even touch on Lovecraftian racism. I didn't really notice a weak link in the cast, even Tori Spelling, who turns up as a local who rapes the lead. Now, I only mention that because the idea of Tori Spelling raping a gay guy is deeply surreal, and the fact that it's pretty well handled is even weirder. It's not all Lovecraft, though. There's been some definite Wickerman-y additions, with everyone in the town manipulating Russ to lead him to his anointed location. The most obvious film to compare this to is Stuart Gordon's Dagon, and I mostly prefer Dagon, but non-terrible HP Lovecraft movies are hard to come by, and non-terrible gay horror movies are almost as hard to find. I just wish I knew why they called it Cthulhu. At least when Dagon changed the name of the story, they named it after the right Lovecraftian god. And why call the town Innsmouth? Would people watching a film called Cthulhu really get the twist ruined if the town had the same name as the one in the story? Anyway, this can be bought on DVD for fairly cheap. If you want to see some queer Lovecraft but don't have enough to buy some very niche porn, I'd suggest grabbing this. You could do far worse.
And you just believe every fucking piece of shit that you hear?
We've both been down there.
What about the names in the net shit, huh? What about the names in the net shit?
I'm sure that there's an explanation.
Oh, what is that, UFOs? I need some jelly. Do you have any jelly?
Russ, you've been up for like
Do you have any fucking jelly?
Been up for
Do you have
2
any jelly?
days.
It's a very simple question. Do you have any jelly?
Why don't you just relax and stay here for a little bit and get some rest?
You're a very bad host, man.